With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. Understanding Matthew 19:26. Jesus looked at them and said, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Matthew 19:26, NIV. This verse is one of the most quoted promises in Scripture. It reminds us that while human limitations are real, God's power overrides what we believe can't be done, whether in salvation, transformation, healing, or redemption. In the historical and scriptural context, was Jesus speaking and had just finished a conversation with a wealthy young man who walked away sad because he could not let go of his possessions to follow Jesus. Matthew 19:16-22. The disciples were shocked. In their culture, wealth was often seen as a sign of God's favor. So when Jesus said it's hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, they asked, "Then who can be saved?" Jesus replied with this powerful truth, that God can do what seems humanly impossible, even in matters of the heart, identity, and salvation. Let's look deeper into the theological meaning of the words used. With man, this is impossible. Here Jesus acknowledges the limitations of human beings. Our efforts can't earn salvation, solve every problem, or mend every broken soul. There are things we simply cannot do in our own strength, especially when it comes to matters of eternal consequence or wholehearted obedience. But with God, all things are possible. This phrase doesn't mean God will do anything we want, but that no obstacle is too great, no sinner too lost, no situation too far gone for His transforming power. It emphasizes God's sovereignty, grace, and miraculous ability, especially in bringing people into true relationship with Him. This idea echoes God's promise in Jeremiah 32:27. "I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me?" In Catholic theology, this verse is especially linked with the ability of God's grace to heal, sanctify, and save, even in the most impossible human conditions. Saints often reference this truth to encourage perseverance, especially regarding forgiveness, conversion, and God's providence in mission work or miracles. This verse is still relevant today. Modern life is filled with circumstances that feel overwhelming: addiction, broken relationships, financial collapse, infertility, injustice, and inner healing. This verse reminds us, no situation is beyond God's power to redeem. Many people feel stuck, especially when they've done everything they can, and it still isn't enough. Matthew 19:26 invites us to surrender the burden to the one who is not limited by what we are. It encourages bold, childlike faith. Faith doesn't always make things easy, but it makes the impossible possible when we align ourselves with God's will. Let's take a few moments to reflect with these thoughts. Where in your life do you feel stuck or out of options? Have you truly given that area to God? Do you believe God can work in ways you cannot? How do you struggle to trust Him when things seem hopeless? What impossible area in your life do you need to start viewing through the lens of God's power instead of your limitations? Are you willing to step in faith even when solutions don't make sense naturally, because you believe that with God all things are possible? I think of Abraham and Sarah's promise, Genesis 18:21. When God promised Abraham and Sarah a child in their old age, beyond biological possibility, against all natural odds, Isaac was born, proving that nothing is too hard for the Lord. Is there someone in your life who feels like change or hope is impossible? How can you encourage them with this truth today? How does your belief in this verse shape your attitude toward prayer, miracles, or mission work? I would like to encourage all of you to submit testimonies or stories of when you've seen God do the impossible. I would love to share your personal experiences with our listeners by reading a few in future episodes. We should celebrate our joys, the impossible becoming possible. Thank you for joining us today in contemplating the meaning of Matthew 19:26. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Maybe you're facing something bigger than your ability to fix. Maybe you feel like you've hit a wall emotionally, spiritually, or practically. This verse invites you to stop striving in your strength and start believing in God's. You're not called to figure everything out. You're called to trust the one who sees beyond the impossible. Rest in that today. Step forward in that today. Pray into that today. Quick disclaimer, some links in the description may be affiliate links. If today offered you hope or helped deepen your faith, we'd love to invite you to join our Patreon community for just $1 a month. Your support keeps this space of encouragement going strong. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below. What's one impossible thing you're trusting God with right now? Or where have you already seen Him do the impossible? Until next time, remember, your limitations are not final. God's possibilities are endless, and He is with you, right in the middle of it. Stay hopeful, stay bold, and never stop believing.